I think we're okay, Kerry.
Okie doke. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'll make a start. Some of you may already know me from being on board previously and coming up to Ross to see you guys on previous Fred Olsen groups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it quite light-hearted. I'm going to run through some updates of what we've been doing here at Fred Olsen, and then we're going to do a little bit of a quiz at the end of it, just to make it a bit more fun for you. So I'm just going to share my screen. 1 second.
Yeah.
So can you all see that?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Fabulous, great. So today what I hope to be able to do is answer some of your questions that you may already have that you'll be thinking about. So particularly for those of you that have never cruised with Fred Olsen before, why choose Fred Olsen Cruise Lines? What information do we have available to share with you on our new ships? So we bought Boletta and Borealis back in last summer. So what have we been doing to them since they've been laid up, ready for going back in the water in July? What cruises have we recently launched for 2022 and 2023? Seems very far away, but it will be here before we know it. What offers have we currently got available? Which cruises do Mars Morgan have escorted groups on? And when do Fred Olsen Cruise Lines hope to set sail again, which is probably the biggest question on everyone's lips at the moment. And what are we doing in terms of health and safety on board our ships? And do we offer any form of guarantee in light of COVID-19? So before I begin and really get into the presentation, I just need to make you aware that the information about the new ship, I will try to answer any of the questions that you may have, but of course we're still very much in the very early and very exciting stages of our planning. So it's important that we ensure that the vessels are representative of the Fred Olsen standard, from the engines to the cabins, the bars, the lounges, all the way through to welcoming our friendly customer service. So please do keep that in mind, particularly when I'm talking about the new ships. I do have some images to share with you, but they are images of when we bought the ship. So obviously, since then, we've been changing lots of things. We've been taking baths out of cabins and replacing them with showers, been changing bars, restaurants, and all sorts of things and decor on board our ships. So why choose Fred Olsen Cruise Lines? Well, of course, we are a family-run business. And the Fred Olsen family are very much at the heart of everything we do. So when we're planning our itineraries, Fred Olsen himself approves them. When we're putting the brochure together, he goes through all the pages and makes sure that everything is how he wants it to run for his business. So we're very much a family-run business, and he's very, very involved in pretty much every aspect of the cruise ships, choosing where his art pieces are going on board, choosing the carpets, choosing the colour decor scheme, right through to the pricing and everything to do with the cruising holidays. So we're small ships, but big benefits. So yes, we did previously buy 2 new ships that will replace Blackwatch and Boudica. So although they are larger ships than what we've had previously, they are still very much small ships. So we're able to unlock more interesting destinations as we cruise around the world. We of course do avoid overcrowding, both on board our ships and when we're going ashore, because we do try to pick our itineraries and make sure that we're trying to be one of the only ships in port, if at all possible. And of course, when our guests coming on board, we treat you as passengers, we treat you as guests. So you may have seen my friendly face before, particularly on Braemar. I spent 4 years working on board Braemar, but I spent 7 years working on board the Fred Olsen fleet. So I know lots of our regular passengers, and we do have a huge number of passengers that come back to us time and time again. If you are wondering, this picture on the left-hand side here is the Braemar cruising through the Corinth Canal in Greece. So Braemar is now going to be our smallest ship within the fleet, and she's still able to cruise to some of the destinations around the world that even our new ships won't be able to go to. So still very much small ships, but lots and lots and lots of big benefits. Handmade itineraries. So we're just working on producing the brochure ready for 2022-2023 that will be going on sale imminently in the next couple of weeks. So please do look out for that. So all our itineraries are handmade itineraries, and we have won a Cruise Critic Award for the last 5 years running for our itineraries. So we know we're doing something right, and we're always looking for new places to cruise to around the world and take you our guests to some very exciting destinations worldwide. So we're sailing from 6 UK departure ports, so that's Rosyth and up in Edinburgh, Newcastle, Liverpool, Dover, Southampton, and also Portsmouth, which now means that we are the UK cruise line that is cruising from the most UK departure ports. So hopefully there is a departure within a fairly close proximity to where you are living. Loyal guests, research is shown by the National Survey and the government that we have the highest percentage of returning guests throughout the whole of the UK cruising industry, which is absolutely fantastic. And we can only thank you all that have cruised with us in the past and want to keep coming back time and time again. And we're really holding up during this pandemic as well, because most of our loyal guests, rather than cancelling their cruises, they've literally just transferred over to other departures. So we can only thank you enough for that. And obviously with our loyal guests, as I've already mentioned, we've got to keep you wanting to come back to us time and time again. So we've got to keep the itineraries fresh, looking for new places. And of course, with our 2 new ships, we know that we have so many loyal guests wanting and can't wait to get back on board, including myself. The enjoyment promise. So whether you've cruised with us before or whether you've never cruised with us before, if you do decide to book a cruise with us and then you get on board and you realise maybe it's not actually for you, which I find quite hard to believe that it's not for anybody, but if for any reason you didn't enjoy your cruise within the first 48 hours of being on board, just let us know when you're on board and we will fly you home from the next available port of call and we will give you a full refund. So the enjoyment promise is there to basically say that you will enjoy your cruise when you're coming on board with Fred Olsen. So let's move on and have a look at our ships. So as you know, and I'm sure if you've been on Nina's groups and Joan's groups previously, you may well have been on board the Braemar. Braemar's got a special place in my heart. As I said, I worked on her for a number of years. So she's now our smallest ship within the fleet. She carries around just over 800 passengers. Yes, she will carry on cruising over in the Caribbean in the winter months, but we've decided that that isn't actually going to resume until winter 2022-2023. So that means Braemar is actually up in Scotland at the moment, and she won't actually go back in the water until the spring of 2022. So she'll start to cruise from Southampton and over the course of the year, or before she goes out to the Caribbean, she'll then reposition up to Rosyth in Scotland. So every couple of years we move the ships around. So previously Braemar's been in and out of Southampton quite a bit, and now she'll be up in Rosyth, up in Edinburgh, before she's going over to the Caribbean as a fly cruise season. Balmoral used to be the largest ship within our fleet of 1,250 guests. She's no longer the biggest ship within our fleet. We've got Borealis and Valletta that have taken over. But like I said at the beginning, rest assured they are still very much Fred Olsen ships. They are still small. We haven't gone for big, enormous ships because we know that's not our market. Balmoral traditionally does cruise in and out of Newcastle, but she does also have Southampton and also later on this year and also for 2022. Then moving on to Valletta. So just to give you an idea, these are artist impressions of the outside of the ship. However, we have very recently been painting the funnels, been painting the outside of the ships to make them very much a Fred Olsen ship. So we're literally putting our Fred Olsen stamp on them. So once they are ready to go back in the water and you're able to come on board, you will see very similar things on our previous ships and the high standards that we are known for.
Sorry to interrupt you, Kate, but our pictures aren't moving.
Are they not moving?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're still on the Corinth Canal.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's try. Right. Thanks for letting me know. What can you see now?
Fred Olsen Cruise Line.
Right. Okay. Are they moving?
Yeah, they are now. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me catch up. So you were here. Were you stuck on this? Right.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
How many itineraries? Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's okay. No problem. I wasn't aware. So thank you. Let me know if anything else happens.
I can't see it anywhere.
Okay, so can you see Boletta now?
We can, yes, yes.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you. So this is Boletta. Like I said, we've been painting her and making sure that she's up to our Fred Olsen standards. And then moving on to Borealis as well. They're very much artist impressions, these ships, but this is how we want them to look when they're ready to set sail. So we do have a lot to be excited about, particularly with the new ships and obviously getting back in the water. So the 2 new ships do add a number of features and facilities to our fleet. In particular, they offer a new level of premium comfort. And this would be more space throughout. So although they're bigger, and yes, they do have more guests on board, there is still a lot of space on the ships per guest. So they're very spacious ships indeed. On the new ships, we've got an all-weather pool with a retractable roof. So guests can sit by the pool or go for a swim, whatever the weather. And lots of original artwork and premium decor on our ships as well. So more restaurants, bars and lounges, as well as dedicated meeting spaces for groups. So if you come on board with Nina or Joan and you want to all meet up in a particular restaurant and all have dinner together, or I don't know, just have a pre-meeting, whether it's about debarkation or you just want to have a fun night and book out one of the spaces on the ships, you can indeed do that. One particular area I'm quite excited about is the culinary demonstration theatre and wine tasting venue, where we can showcase food and drink from the destinations we'll be visiting. So you can sit in the theatre and watch the chefs. We can go out and get some local specialty foods and wines throughout the regions that we'll be visiting, and we'll be able to do lectures and all sorts of things in the culinary demonstration theatre. And of course, on board the suites and balconies, there are a lot more suites and balconies than we had on Boudicca and Blackwatch, so we're able to offer more guests of those guests that want balconies and suites, of course. And also more single cabins as well. Two-tier main theatre is probably one of the biggest highlights, I think, that's going to give us the opportunity to offer both a fixed and flexible dining option. So you'll still very much have the first and second sitting of 6:30 and 8:30 on board our ships, but there will also be the opportunity to offer a more flexible dining approach. We know in the past we've had lots of questions about this, but with the smaller ships, we just weren't able to offer it. But with the new ships, larger restaurants, we are able to. Just to let you know, we are still working on the finer details of how that is going to work operationally. But if you're on first sitting or second sitting or a flexible dining option, that will remain throughout your cruise. You can't swap and change around from flexible dining to second sitting or first dining. If you're on a flexible dining option, that will remain throughout your entire cruise. A classic two-tiered theatre as well, so it's a proper theatre. So we've got 2 levels. And a split level movable stage and things like that. So we'll be able to have more dancers on board the ships and bigger performances. And a larger spa area with both ships offering a hydrotherapy pool, thermal spa and more treatment rooms as well. So lots and lots to be excited about. The accommodation grades, we've pretty much just renamed them so that you would find them similar to what you love and known on board our existing ships. The only main difference I will highlight is that particularly if you're looking at the lower grades of cabins, you'll notice that they start at deck 1. Now I just need to make you aware that there are still 2 decks below deck 1, but we've named deck 1 as the first passenger deck, so it's the same equivalent to deck 3 on Boudicca, Blackwatch, Braemar, and of course Balmoral. It's just been named slightly different. So if you see deck 1 on the new ships and you think, oh my goodness, it's the lowest, it is the lowest deck, it's just the lowest passenger deck. There's still very much the crew decks beneath you. Back in the water, so like I said at the beginning, this is probably the biggest question that is on everybody's lips at the moment. So our captains, officers and crew love nothing more than exploring the world with you. So last year was like no other, of course. While our ships have been up in dry dock in Rosyth, we've had much work to do to ensure that they remain ready to set sail as soon as the time is right to do so. So meanwhile, our Ipswich team have been working hard behind the scenes, working from home, making sure that our service continues in the way that you expect. 2020 was definitely not a year any of us had planned. So over the last few months, we've been working with the government, other cruise lines and our industry body to review and agree our back in the service water dates. With the good news about the vaccines, advanced testing and detailed planning that we've been doing, we're now able to look forward with more confidence and can confirm when we will be able to resume sailing. Our ships will return to service in a phased plan with Borealis. Oh, ignore that April date. Borealis is going to be starting on the 2nd of July, Valletta on the 2nd of July, Balmoral on the 1st of July, and Braemar is going to be on the 15th of April 2022. I'll just give you a little bit of background behind that reasoning why Braemar's not starting with the rest of the 3 ships, and that's mainly because she does a fly cruising in the Caribbean. And at the moment, we want to focus on ex-UK departures and, of course, concentrating on our new ships as well. So once they're all up and ready, then Braemar will follow on the 15th of April 2022, and then we'll go into her Caribbean season for 2022 into 2023. No risk deposits. So if you are thinking, or maybe that you've already booked with us, we do have the no risk deposit. So you can book with confidence. So at the moment, as we speak, if you are to make a new booking for 2021, and this will carry through into the new cruises for 2022 and 2023 as well. So if you're booking a cruise for later this year, 2021, and you later change your mind about it, or you're unable to travel due to COVID, or whatever reason, you can get your deposit back. You can transfer that deposit onto another cruise if you wish to do so. So you can transfer it onto a new cruise on your terms, and there will be no quibble refunds if you do decide to get your deposit back. That is changing slightly for 2022 in the fact that you won't be able to get a refund on your deposit, but you will be able to transfer your deposit if for any reason you aren't able to go on your preferred sailing. So we've got the Safe Sailing Charter. So again, many people are asking us about, is it going to be compulsory to have a vaccine on board? Will you still be required to wear masks and social distancing on board? Unfortunately, we aren't able to answer any of those questions at the moment. We know that other cruise lines out there are stating certain things with vaccine passports and so forth. We still think it's a little bit too early to set our plans out for that, but bear in mind that we are very much working with the government, and we do hope to make it a very safe place when you are sailing on board with us, including specialist medical facility upgrades, fresh air system upgrades, of course the highest cleanliness standards that we adhered to anyway. And then whilst you're ashore as well, it's making sure that you're safe in port. So making sure that you're going on pre-approved tours, partners, smaller groups and so forth. So once we are ready and we've finalised everything about the policies and what it's going to be like when you're sailing on board, of course we will be able to share that with you. But we just feel at the moment we're still working on it, and we're still working with the government about what it's actually going to look like when you're coming on board our ships. So I'm just now going to go through and talk about some of the cruising highlights that we've got for 2021 all the way through to 2023. But first off, we're going to talk about Nina's and Joan's groups. They do have specific group departures, so you can join them and they'll be your escorts. And of course, if you do book any of their specific cruises, you will be able to get a free door-to-door transport on the selected itineraries. So you won't need to worry about parking or getting yourself to the port. You can simply shut your front door in and around Ross, if that's where you're living, make your way to the local bus stop in Ross, jump on the coach with Nina and Joan, and then your holiday will start from that moment onwards. And again, likewise, when you're returning off the ship, there'll be the coach and the group transport, so you don't need to worry about anything else. So we've got a couple of groups set up with Nina. So this is the first one. It's going down to the Mediterranean with Malta, and it's going for 13 nights on the 2nd of November later this year, and prices start at 1,499 if anybody is interested in joining this one. So she's setting off from Southampton. She'll go down through to the Med, Cartagena, Gibraltar, Tangier, Cagliari, Gozo, and of course one of the highlights on this particular cruise is Valletta down in Malta. So I'm just going to briefly talk through about some of the things and some of the tours and what you can actually expect on this particular itinerary. So I'm hoping the weather will still be quite pleasant down there. I know we're all probably itching for some sunshine, so why not extend the summer by going down to the Med in November? Some of the tours on offer in Malta, particularly you've got lots of history, particularly about the Second World War. So you can appreciate Malta's war heritage and be able to visit the National War Museum and of course discover secret war rooms and secret areas around Malta. On the right hand side there, the middle picture down, you can see that is the Blue Grotto. So you'll be able to visit the Blue Grotto in Malta and also be able to visit Marsalok, which is one of the small little pretty towns. Whether you want to wander around Valletta on your own, the ship doesn't dock too far from the main city itself. You can jump off the ship, and if you wish to do so, you can get on the horse-drawn carts to take you up to the centre of the town, or you can take a short walk. If you want to walk up the hill, you can, or if you don't want to walk up the hill, which I wouldn't probably advise, then of course you can jump in the lift, which takes you up to the top. And what you can see on the right hand side is the cannon salute. So at 12 o'clock each day, you can see the cannon salute in the heart of the city of Valletta as well. So it's a beautiful city. If you've not been, I do recommend going. And what a great way to cruise in. Valletta's harbour actually is probably the one of the most picturesque harbour I've ever cruised in during my time on Fred Olsen. And it really is worth getting up early and certainly staying out on the deck for the deck parties and seeing the sail away as well once you leave Valletta, because it's such a beautiful, beautiful harbour. So moving on to some other ports of call, of course, we do visit the famous Gibraltar. If you've been before, maybe you've just hit the shops, or maybe you did some of the tours, and maybe you'd like to go back and do something a little bit different when you're in in Gibraltar. So of course you'll be able to visit the underground wine storage region on the iconic Rock of Gibraltar and learn all about the hidden wine trade. Of course you can go up and see the apes if you wish to do so. You've got the underground hospital in the World War II. You've got the Sky cable car if you wish to go up to the top of the rock. And of course, if you just want to go shopping and get some duty-free items, then the high street's a great place for shopping as well. Moving on to rugged and remote Spitsbergen, Nina's also escorting this cruise for us on the 22nd of June 2022. So yes, you're going up from Newcastle to the very top of Norway and up to Spitsbergen. So this does take in the land of the midnight sun. So you can really be on board enjoying the fantastic scenery as you're cruising up through this area. You can be 3-4 o'clock in the morning in some of the bars on board and kind of forget what time it is because daylight is outside. But it is truly a magnificent cruise. I have done it myself. So if you do have any questions after about any of the tours, anything at all, feel free to either feed them to me today or certainly feed them back through Nina over the next couple of days or weeks if you do have any questions. But it really is a truly magnificent cruise. So I just want to run through with you, whether you've been to Norway before, perhaps you've been to the southern fjords and this is your first time right up to Arctic Norway and certainly up to Spitsbergen. Fred Olsen Cruise Lines do pride themselves on being the experts in Norway. And we do say that why would you sail to Norway with anyone else when we are the experts and we know it better than anybody else? There are a number of reasons for this. Number one, of course, Fred Olsen Cruise Lines, we are a Norwegian company. We are owned by a Norwegian family. So they have grown up in this area. They know the waters like the back of their hands. And of course, that does give great insight into some hidden gems that we are able to take you and some highlights around your trip to Norway. So in a minute, I'm also going to be talking about a Northern Lights cruise. So I'm going to kind of combine Spitsbergen and Norway in the winter together, so you've got an idea of what you can expect in Norway both in the summer and in the winter. So of course our journey planners, they know the best times to visit Norway, so of course going up in the land of the midnight sun in the middle of June and then going up in the winter time for the Northern Lights as well. So whether you're going to Norway to check out the waterfalls at their fullest in the spring, being able to go right up to Spitsbergen when the weather allows us to, you'll be in for a great viewing of our cruising. So of course we do have smaller ships. So on this particular itinerary that Nina will be hosting, you can see on the map there it takes you into Trollfjord, which is up just short of Tromsø, up in the Arctic Circle. So we are able to cruise in the Troll Fjord. It's a kind of fjord that's got a dead end. It's a couple of miles long, and you can get out right on front of the ships and almost touch the waterfalls from the side because it's very narrow, but it's a magnificent Troll Fjord to get in and out of. Of course, when you're cruising up here from Newcastle, you're also able, it's a much shorter distance than if you were, say, cruising from Southampton or Dover. So going up to Newcastle and just going across to the North Sea means that you've actually got more time to explore Norway. So I'm just going to move on to some of the tours and what you can kind of expect up in Norway and Spitsbergen at this time of year. Probably the #1 tour that you have to do, that I would say must be on your bucket list, is when you're up in Honningsvåg, which is right at the top of Norway, the North Cape and the Horn. Go and see the globe, which is what you can see here. I'm hoping that the slides are carrying up and catching up with me. So it's mainland Europe's most northerly point. So you do need to make sure that you check out the globe, and of course, which is situated near the very cliff edge up in Norway. There's lots of birds and wildlife tours that you can go on. You can go on bird watching tours. You can go and see the giant crabs up in Honningsvåg and Spitsbergen as well. There's helicopter tours. There's all sorts of tours that you're available to do. So I've been up to Spitsbergen. I've only been up to Spitsbergen once before, but I've been up to the top of Tromsø in both the summer and the winter. And lots of people have like, well, what sort of clothes are you expecting to take with you if you're going up in the height of summer when it is the land of the midnight sun? Just to give you an idea, when I was up in Tromsø, in the height of summer, it was 32 degrees, believe it or not. We were outside on the decks enjoying the swimming pool and sunbathing on the top decks. The very next day it was 2 degrees up in Spitsbergen. So just be aware, just take layers, because you just don't know what the weather's going to be like. But of course, the further north you go, you're much closer to the North Pole, and then you'll have that wind coming down from the North Pole. So just take layers with you, and yes, do take hat, scarf and gloves, because you want to experience the scenery. And if you're up and around Spitsbergen and it's 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and you're cruising past some fantastic scenery with daylight hours, just bear in mind that you may want to take some layers and wrap up warm if you want to experience the best of the scenery. Moving on to a couple more tours that are available. So just to give you an idea, at the very top, so the islands you can see up there, Pyramidion, Longyearbyen. If you are going ashore, then some particular places on these islands that you do need to have a tour guide with you, just in case any polar bears are wandering around. So if you are doing something on your own independently, you won't actually be allowed very far from the ship. You'll kind of be in an enclosed area that's, I don't know, let's say a mile radius. But if you want to go outside of that and really see and explore certain places around Spitsbergen, you need to make sure that you are on a tour. So I would strongly advise you that when you're going up to this particular area, make sure that you do book yourself on a tour so you can get the very best from it. And that tour can be a mining tour. So it's very much a mining town, almost a village, I would call it, for you and I, up in this particular area. So you can go and see the mining. You can also go out on the Zodiac. So of course we do have the Zodiacs on our ships. You can go kayaking. You can go and do all sorts of adventure up in and around Spitsbergen. One of my favorites would be the Huskies. You can go out. These are self-drive Husky tours. Obviously there's not going to be much snow, particularly on the ground at this time of year, being the land of the midnight sun. So you can go out and experience the Huskies on these little buggies with wheels. So moving on to the Northern Lights, again, it's probably one of my most memorable and exciting cruise itineraries that I've done. So I'm fingers crossed you'll be able to go up there and see the Northern Lights. So this one is with Joan as the escort, and again, free transport for Mars Morgan Travel. And it's departing on the 24th of March, 2022 for 14 nights, leaving from Southampton, going up to Bergen, of course, which is one of the big cities in Norway, Bodø, Ålesund, Alta and Tromsø. So whenever you're looking for a cruise up to the Northern Lights, you kind of need to make sure that you are having an overnight stay at least in Outer, if not Tromsø. With this particular itinerary, you're getting an overnight stay in both those destinations. So that's giving you the maximum opportunity to see the Northern Lights. So hopefully you'll get some images like this. So just to give you an idea, when we are docked and we're going out to see the Northern Lights, we go out right into the wilderness to avoid any light pollution. So you're literally going out into the wilderness to see the Northern Lights. There will be teepees and things set up for you with campfires and also hot chocolate and local foods for you. Most of the Northern Lights trips will depart from the ship quite late in the evening, maybe 9-10 o'clock at night. The best time to see the Northern Lights is between 10 p.m. and say 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So lots of late nights, but certainly well worth it, and you will want to go out every single night because you really won't want to miss the opportunity to see the Northern Lights. You may be lucky enough to see them from the ship, but if you're keen photographers, you probably won't get the best images from the ship. Obviously, with the vibrations and the ship movement, you really do need a still camera and a tripod if you are a keen photographer to take some of the best shots of the Northern Lights. But of course, it's not just about the Northern Lights. That's probably the main point why you'll be going up to this particular area. But of course, there's lots of activities for you to enjoy in the daytime as well. One of them being the husky sleigh rides. So of course, if you're going up in March, there will be lots of snow for you to enjoy. And there will be snow most likely from the moment you step off the ship and out on Tromsø. It probably will be underfoot. So a good walking boot, good walking shoe is highly recommended. So you can go and learn about the Samis, the local people, go and see the Huskies. You can go and see the Arctic Cathedral, which is a walking distance from the ship in Tromsø. And also, if you're brave enough, I did it, although I'm not sure I'd ever do it again, but it was fantastic and I'm so glad I did it, is actually sleep overnight in the ice hotel. So again, with overnight stays in Outer, that does give you that opportunity to do so. There really is not much to do in Outer if you are just wandering off the ship and doing your own thing. Again, it's a destination that you really need to be on a tour to get out and see the local area and the local wildlife and scenery. I think if you're not on a tour in Outer, you might be a little bit disappointed because there's not a huge amount to do. So just take note of that in Outer and Spitsbergen. Definitely recommend that you do decide to book on some tours. Different in Tromsø. Tromsø is a very much alive. It's a city. Probably to you and I, it's more of a town. But there is lots to do, and walking off the ship, it's very close if you do decide to do something on your own in Tromsø, but certainly not in Outer. And of course, if you have the opportunity, you've got snowmobiling, ice walking, ice fishing. There is so much going on up and around this part of the world in the winter time. Going to move on to another cruise that Joan's escorting for us. Believe it or not, this is 2023. Like I said, it feels like a million miles away, but it will soon be here. The 26th of September, also departing from Southampton, on board Balmoral. 34 nights and prices start at 5,299. So it's America Waterways and Canada in the fall. So again, some highlights on this particular itinerary. You've got Sydney, St John's, Halifax with an overnight stay, Boston, New York with an overnight stay and cruising right up into the heart of the city, Baltimore, Bermuda and the Azores and La Coruña on the way home. So again, lots of tours available on this particular one. For example, in Boston, you can go and learn about the Boston Tea Party. You can go whale watching if you haven't already seen whales from the ship as you're cruising by. Learn all about the Freedom Trail in Boston, visit Quincy Market. You can even go on tours to the Harvard University. There is so much going on in and around these fantastic cities over in America and Canada. Of course, you can learn all about maple syrup. If you want to do so, we'll have tours available to show you how it's made and showing where it gets sent to all over the world. We also have the Cabot Trail, which is this. It's a great road railway journey. You can go on the Cabot Trail. And of course, when you're in New York, you can go to see Ground Zero and the 9/11 Memorial. Brooklyn Bridge, you want to hike over Brooklyn Bridge. There will be tours available if you want to go up to Niagara Falls as well on this particular voyage. So there is lots of things exciting that Joan and Nina have for their tours. I'm just going to briefly talk to you about some of our other cruises that we do already have on sale for 2022-2023. The main itineraries and the main brochure, like I said at the beginning, will be out in a couple of weeks, and I'm pretty sure Nina will be telling you all about that when it is available for her to share with you. Some of the itineraries are already on sale though. We've put this one on sale recently, which is Discovering the Balkans. So going up right into the Adriatic, Dubrovnik, Split, Kotor, the Bay of Kotor as well. So it's an 18-night cruise. So we will just highlight that with the new ships Valletta and Borealis, they're actually able to cruise at much faster speed than Black Watch and Boudica are able to do. So on an itinerary to the Adriatic such as this, we can do it in as little as 18 nights. And 50% of the itinerary will be in port and 50% of the itinerary will be sailing. So it's a great opportunity to go and see the Adriatic as well. Recently we put these new cruises on sale. It's the Springtime Tulips and Floriade Expo, the 5 nights. So the Floriade Expo, if you're not aware, is a horticultural expedition in Amsterdam which takes place every 10 years. So we will be able to dock in the heart of the city, and you will be able to go and experience the Floriade Expo if you wish to do so. There's very short cruises and mainly going to Amsterdam for that time of year. So that's April 2022. Devon and Cornwall in 5 nights. So these are actually really popular cruises, particularly around the UK as well. So this is going to be Braemar's first cruise back in the water on the 15th of April 2022. So it's just a short cruise down to Falmouth with an overnight stay and also Plymouth. Iconic sites of Croatia and Italy. So again, Adriatic going further up into Venice and various places along the Italian coastline as well, and that one is going on the 23rd of October 2022. The Corinth Canal has been very, very popular, the most popular itineraries we have ever done. The first couple sold out within minutes, within days. We're now in the Guinness Book of Records for the largest ship, although she's still very small, to cruise through the Corinth Canal over in Greece. So last Thursday we actually put a new departure on sale. So this is for April 2022. It's for 25-night cruise, and there's very few cabins left. There's only inside cabins and outside cabins with either picture windows or portholes. So if you are interested in that one, I would advise you to think about it sooner rather than later. Scenic Isles of the UK. This is actually our best-selling cruise in the last couple of weeks, and it's taking in the islands around the UK. So you've got St Peter Port down in Guernsey, St Mary's, the Isle of Scilly, and you've got various islands up and around Scotland as well. So this really is taking in some fantastic scenery and islands that probably some of us have never been to, even though they're a lot closer to home. St Mary's on the Isles of Scilly is probably one of our one of those ports that we get asked about a lot. Do you go to the Isles of Scilly? And yes, we do. So I'm happy to take some questions if anybody has any questions now. And then I was going to have a bit of fun and do a bit of a geography quiz. So let's just stop sharing this. And anybody have any questions? Oh, Nina's on mute.
Stuart, do you want to go first?
Thank you, Kerry. That was very useful and informative.
Great.
Like many probably on here at the moment, we're seasoned cruisers with other cruise lines, such as for us it's Royal Caribbean and it's P&O.
Okay.
And we've joined very early the loyalty programs of those companies, and subsequently quite high up on the loyalty program. Do you match that at all. So if we're on a certain level with Royal Caribbean or P&O and we receive certain benefits such as discounts, priority bookings, things along those lines, will you match it going across?
Unfortunately, we won't, but we do have our very own loyalty program. Obviously, the longer and the number of cruises that you have with us, that you'll get discounts, various things like that. Yes, but we wouldn't match what you have with another cruise line straight away coming over to Fred Olsen, I'm afraid.
Well, the only reason I ask that is one of the last cruises we did, somebody that we were talking to, a seasoned cruiser, was saying that actually, yeah, there's some cruise lines will actually match what you want.
Okay, yeah, unfortunately, it's not something that we do, I'm afraid.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Margaret, you're on mute.
I'm Mike's. Oh, that, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
When will we be up and running, Fred Olsen?
When what? Sorry, I missed the first.
She said, when will the cruises be up and running?
When will the app on the
Oh, the
on
app.
iPhone? Because at the moment it says it's going having enhancements.
Oh, okay. It could be because of the launch of our program. I don't actually know the answer to that one, but leave it with me and I will find out for you and let Nina know so she can pass the information on. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll just make a note of that now.
Thank you.
Okie doke. No problem at all. Any other questions?
Jill, did you have a question?
Yes, I think it was answered really when a cruise is likely to go. Is the July one likely to go?
Yeah, so first of July is the first ship back in the water, and then the other two 2nd of July, and then Braemar is going to be April 2022. So we're keeping all our fingers crossed that they are the actual dates that we can get back in the water. So we've actually started flying some of our crew back to the ships now. So we're very much working towards those July dates, and fingers crossed they will go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Jill. Because Mum's escorting the one that's going in July the 11th, you see.
Right.
So
Good.
that's why there's quite a
We'll
few
behave.
people on there. Yeah.
We should be good to go. Fingers crossed.
Good. Good.
Good. Any other questions? No.
No.
Chris, you haven't got a question?
Jill's really asked the question.
Okay.
We've got two. We need to mute one of our audios, I think.
For the mic, yeah. Okay.
And I don't know why my picture hasn't come up.
No, we can't see you.
I know, but I'm here.
Oh.
Mute
Oh.
it.
Oh, I see that.
Right, that's Jill's muted her, so it should be better.
So, okay. Well, I think any more questions, or we're okay to do the quiz?
I've got a question.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Jan, we can't see you. That's okay.
Okay. Will the staff be vaccinated? Well, what's the policy going to be about staff and testing? And I appreciate you don't know everything yet, but what's the thinking at the moment about staff and whether they're vaccinated or tested or whatever?
No problem. It's the Philippines where most of our crew actually come from. Their vaccination program is the opposite to the UK. So they're actually vaccinating the youngest in their population first. So although we haven't made plans and we haven't said that the crew must be vaccinated and the passengers must be vaccinated, we haven't made those final plans, but we're very much looking into it. So again, just bear with us while we work out what we can and can't do with the crew. But it is something that we're hoping to be able to finalise within the next couple of months, certainly before sailing.
Great. Thanks, Kerry. Thank you.
No worries. Don't just remember that obviously our aim is to keep all our passengers and indeed our crew safe with our ships.
Great.
Thank you, Jan.
I could
Any more
unmute.
questions? No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
No,
Oh, sorry.
not really. No,
No.
that's all right.
Okay.
No, I was just saying the cruise Kerry show for next year is very similar to the one I'm doing this year. It's around the scenic British Isles.
Yeah, which we pick up in Ross.
It goes to the Scilly Isles and everything like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
on the 11th of July. Should it take off? And then Norway,
hoping.
Norway in August. And then Margaret's, you know, the Balkans one. Yeah.
Lovely.
So if you want to stay on, we'll do a bit of a quiz if you want. There are prizes. So if you want to grab a pen and a piece of paper, then we can have a bit of fun and do a bit of a quiz.
Together,
We're doing this together, Johnny.
We're a team.
It's going to be competitive.
Yeah, anyway, right.
There's only 10 questions and it is geography. Okay, so I'll just go back to sharing my screen. Oh, one sec.
We're against the Tunny Cliffs and they've been everywhere.
We're not playing against those two.
They need a handicap already.
Handicap.
Okay, so can you see that slide?
Yes, we can.
Brilliant. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of time. So the first question's multiple choice. Approximately how far is Spitsbergen from the North Pole? Is it 100 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers, 10,000 kilometers, or 100,000 kilometers?
It's very close, isn't it?
Okay, all ready for question 2?
Yeah.
Okay, what 2 main colours are on the Maltese flag?
No idea.
Yeah. Joni, get and Google it.
No Google, no cheats.
She's being sarcastic. She knows how fast I type.
Okay. Number 3, what's been referred to as the centre of the universe, the crossroads of the world, and the heart of the Great White Way?
We're not seasoned enough, Joni.
We haven't done enough cruising, Kerry, to know all the answers.
Okay, some of the answers, not all the answers do relate to the cruises, but this one does.
Yeah.
Crossroads of the world.
No idea.
No, don't know that one.
I might know.
Come on, HRH.
I think I know this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I
Okay,
do.
we'll move on to number 4.
She could have texted us at the very least, couldn't she?
What's the approximate population of Spitsbergen? Is it 50 people, 150,000, 5,000, or 2,500?
On a bad day.
And most of them actually are not Norwegian, believe it or not.
Okay. Might be more. And a big line in it.
Okay. How you doing?
Yeah.
We'll let you know at the end.
What direction does the Niagara River flow?
Oh,
It's not what you think.
and which way it goes. I could guess.
Just so that it's a minute.
6. What is the most northern capital city in the world? Number 7. What's the only country in the world to have a non-rectangle flag? I'll give you a clue on this one.
That'd be
You
nice.
won't find a Fred Olsen ship there. Sadly.
A non-rectangle. No. Yeah. It's like a surprise.
Number 8. Which European city comprises of 117 small islands?
I think I've got to give up more work and travel more.
Yeah.
Mind you, Chris and Jill James are quiet as well. That's not
I
a good
reckon that.
sign.
I reckon. Yeah.
Looking at each other and thinking,
Yeah, have we been there?
As the crow flies, which of these is the shortest distance? So London to Spitsbergen, London to Valletta in Malta, London to St John's in Newfoundland, or London to St Petersburg in Russia?
St John's is there.
Malta's only right there. Did it go to the Orthodox Malta? Well, I think it's something. I think it's something you wouldn't guess it.
And then moving on to the last question. Through fear of having your spirit whisked away, when you see the northern lights, what mustn't you do? Whistle at them, turn your back to them, wink at them, or clap your hands at them.
Where does it be?
Nobody told us that. We obviously
I'm
weren't
telling you
listening
now.
at that talk.
We saw the lights, but nobody told us that.
So if you do go up with Joan, make sure that you take note of this one.
Yeah. Well, Joan went and she didn't know that.
Do you want me to run over them again quickly?
Just tell us the answers.
Yeah. Just put us out of our misery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Right, come on, Joan.
So approximately how far is
you're
Spitsbergen
all right,
from the
yeah.
North Pole? It's 1,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
That's a good guess.
Yeah.
Now, when I went up, we were 600 kilometers from the North Pole because we went further north because the weather was amazing. So if you are lucky enough, you may be able to go up to the glacier and be as close to the North
Yeah.
Pole as you can be with a ship.
Amazing.
And that's the great thing with us and Fred Olsen, really. If the weather's great and there's something extraordinary to do or to see on a cruise, we can divert and do these amazing things. Like, for example, when we go past Stromboli, one of the active volcanoes down near Sicily, it's been erupting a few times when I've been down there. We've actually got obviously a safe distance, but quite close to the volcano to see it erupting. We maybe just sat there and watched it for maybe an hour in the evening, which is truly magnificent. So number 2, what were the main colours of the Maltese flag? So red and white.
Well, we got half of it.
What's been referred to as the centre of the universe, the crossroads of the world, and the heart of the Great White Way? Times Square.
Nina, did you get that?
No, I didn't. I thought it was Los Angeles.
Oh, right.
So I was in the right country.
Yeah.
I was in America, but I thought I didn't. And I love New York.
We'll remember that one for the next one.
Yeah.
What's the approximate population of Svalbard or Spitsbergen? Is 2,500.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The actual figure at the last census was 2,642.
Yeah.
But we put C.
What direction does the Niagara River flow? It flows north.
North.
Yes, we're right.
Well done. We got that one.
I got that.
What's the most northern capital city in the world?
Reykjavik.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I got that.
Oh, Joni, you are a great disappointment. You go to all these nice places.
Oh,
Oh,
Nepal.
Which is the only country in the world to have a non-rectangular flag? It's Nepal.
Yeah, I
I
didn't know that.
right.
I didn't know that.
Did you know that, Margaret?
She's muted herself, I suspect.
Sadly, you won't find a cruise ship there.
No.
Which European city comprises of 117 small islands? It's Venice.
Well done.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we got that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't act so
Well, I've been
surprised.
many times, me.
As the crow flies, which of these is the shortest distance? London to St. Petersburg.
Yes. With my little dog.
Yeah.
And number 10, when you see the Northern Lights, you mustn't what? For fear of having your spirit washed away.
Turn your back on them.
Whistle at them.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't know that.
We didn't
Nobody
know
told us, Kerry, when we went
No.
on Balmoral.
Terrible, wasn't it?
Thank you. Very good.
That was good.
So who got 10?
Nice.
9, 8,
No.
7, 6. I got 6.
You cheated.
I'm not in it. So you need a tie question between Jenny and Stuart.
Oh my goodness, I haven't got one.
I got a good question, tiebreaker.
Go on then.
How many
Go.
pairs of shoes has HRH got?
Do we get an option?
Hopefully it's multiple choice.
Yeah.
We'll get Richard counting.
I'd say
How
200
many
per.
pairs of shoes did she take on her last cruise? Did I take on my last cruise?
27.
No.
I have no idea.
It's a choice between Stuart and Jenny
Hi.
because they had 6.
The nearest number.
Okay.
I can't. Jenny, you're on mute. You had 34 pairs. Nina.
Hello, Liz.
Yeah. How many did you? Well, 34 Liz, exactly.
34.
34, yeah.
What was it? A 6-month cruise?
Well done, Liz. How many did you get in the quiz? We couldn't see you.
Oh, no, I've been on all the time.
didn't see
We haven't seen you till now.
Hi, Liz.
Oh, well, thank goodness. I only got 3 because I'm on my own.
Oh, that's well done.
Right, okay. So who
I
had
get
the
the booby
name?
prize.
Yeah. Jenny, how many do you write? You're on mute.
I'm going to get a booby prize.
Yeah.
No, you're not. No.
You said 15, didn't you, Stuart?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, Alison.
I said 40.
So,
34.
so basically, Jenny's nearer.
How many?
There you go. I don't know what the price is, Jenny. Would you like it sent direct to your house?
Depends what it is.
It's a Fred Olsen goodie bag.
Oh, that's all right, then.
What we'll do, I'll send you both one. So Nina, if you can, it's up to you. I can send them to Nina and she can send them on, or if you're happy to pass your address on to me, I can send them direct to your home.
Okay.
So just let Nina know later. That's great. Well done.
I'd just like to say thank you all for coming on, and it's lovely to see you all, and I can't wait to see you in the shop. So
I can't
hopefully
wait
you'll
to
be
come in.
back.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get in.
And hopefully we'll be
hopefully
off
in
in
April.
July.
Hopefully in April.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's quite a few of them are going in July.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So I just to let you know, let me just check my calendar when it is, because when the launch happens in a couple of weeks, you can join us again if you want to know more details. 1 second. It's going to be.
Write it down, Rich.
When is that? On Wednesday, the 10th of March at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
So if you keep that note in your diary, then I'll be able to tell you more about what's coming on and the new changes with Fred Olsen when we're launching our new itineraries.
Brilliant.
Okay, no
Thank
problem.
you. Thank you
right.
very much, Kerry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem, that's okay.
Bye all.
Thank you.